one of the greatest right backs of all time, an important member of one of the best teams of all time, that is a convicted rapist. Don't even know how to approach this. When we think of Dani Alves, I think we think of this image. We think of a guy who many people consider has an argument to be one of the greatest right backs of all time. A guy who has won every single trophy that is conceivable to win in football apart from one, which of course is the World Cup. And many people believe that he's one of the best right backs out there. And he was definitely part of arguably one of the best, most dominant football teams that we've ever seen in the game. It gets real. It gets real. And I didn't want to say this. I didn't want this to be something that would be talked about, but it gets real. It gets real. Prison FC has another member of the team. Prison FC has its right back. Prison FC has its right back. So, a court in Spain has found former Barcelona and Brazil footballer Dani Alves guilty of raping a woman in a Barcelona nightclub. He has been sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. So, yeah, blah, blah. So I want to a lawyer for the victim welcomed the verdict, saying that it recognizes what we have always known. The truth as told by the victim and the suffering there has been. As well as handling Alves a 4.5-year sentence, the court said he should face a further 5 years probation. The prosecution had asked for a 9-year prison sentence. In Spain, a claim of rape is investigated under the general accusation of sexual assault, and convictions can lead to prison sentences of 4 to 15 years. According to Spanish media, the court took into account Alves' decision to pay the victim 150,000 euros in damages regardless of the outcome of the trial when it decided on the length of its prison term. His wife, Joanna Sanz, 31, said he had appeared very drunk when he got back to their Barcelona home the night of the rape and had bumped into furniture before collapsing on the bed. Damn. But the court argued that his alcohol consumption had not affected his behavior. So yeah, this is good. So prosecutors said Alves and his friend had bought champagne for 3 young women before Alves lured one of them to a VIP area of the nightclub with a toilet which he had no knowledge of. They argued that it was at this point he turned violent, forced the woman to have sex despite her repeated requests to leave. Alves had maintained she would have left if she wanted to. However, the courts found that she did not consent. Spanish law was changed recently to enshrine the importance of consent under the so-called only yes is yes principle. So it said that Alves had abruptly grabbed the complainant and thrown her to the ground. Damn. He had then raped her while preventing her from moving as the complainant said no and wanted to leave, it added. The woman said the rape had caused her anguish and terror, and one of her friends who was with her on the night described how the 23-year-old had cried uncontrollably after leaving the bathroom. So he first denied knowing his accuser, only to claim later that he had met her in a toilet, but that nothing had happened between them. He then changed his version of events again, saying that they had consensual sex. We're both enjoying ourselves, he alleged. So you see, this is where I always effed up. So, because again, once a liar, always a liar. So, by you now denying that you knew the accuser, then by then saying that, oh yeah, we met, but nothing happened. Then say, oh yeah, it didn't happen. So, then it's like, bro, Alves, it's not looking good. See, if you just first part say, oh, I know and everything, but the fact that it's, okay, lie, before we get to the truth of, oh, you did have sex with her, boom. So look, so that's the story there, you know. And the reality is this, man. Well, that's that. So the reality is this, bro. Because there's a larger statement to be made here. And there's a larger thing to come through here with this. But before we get, so don't, I'll end it there. So Prison FC. We have a new member of Prison FC. It gets real. Now, Dani Alves is convicted. There's another guy. There's another guy who they're trying to find. If this guy ends in a certain place, he will be put in jail. Roman Polanski, are you listening, bro? But they want to convict him in Brazil or where he's living. Still under investigation. And there's still rape claims against your boy, Robinho. You know, like last thing that I checked was that, yeah, wherever he is right now, they're trying to convict him there. So we're looking at Prison FC now. We have a manager, Zoran Mamic. So Aurier, you're out. Says Aurier, I don't even know what Aurier did. Aurier, you're out. We have a manager, Zoran Mamic. Remember, he was the manager who was managing the Croatian team who beat Tottenham in the Europa League. Shout out to boy Jose Mourinho. So we do have a manager. So we look at Prison FC now. Now, Benzema, we know about the whole camera thing. Anthony, what did Ribery do? Maradona, look, he had to live. The wood is green. I don't know. Is it that the Adam Johnson thing? I don't want to touch that. Okay, I just maybe that's wrong choice of words. The Adam Johnson, I don't even want to go there. I don't want to go there. I don't know. Now, I don't know what your boy Ricks, Bramble, Hakimi, or Fernandez did. Maybe some guys in the comments tell me what Ricks, Bramble, Hakimi, and Fernandez did. And we've got Dani Alves. We've got Dani Alves there. See, this is another one because that team is missing because Sigurdsson, that guy disappeared. Dino made friends in jail. So he made jail actually cool. Now, I don't know what Mascherano did. Alonso. Yeah. Maguire. Bro, I think they still want him in Greece. So Prison FC is popping off. But Aurier is out. And Alves is in. Alves is just right back, bro. Right back. You are now a full member of Prison FC. Welcome aboard. Beyond that, this is the reality here. This, once the stink comes upon you, it stays there forever. So, Dani Alves was part of arguably one of the most dominant teams that we've ever seen. I can guarantee you, in about 15, 20 years' time, they will bring that team back together just as a novelty exhibition game. So they'll call up Puyol, Valdez, Abidal, Javi, Messi, Etso, Henry, maybe putting David Villa in there, Pedro, Busquets. They'll call them back in. Dani Alves won't be called back in. Because you see, we're living in the world of the internet. And the digital footprint never goes away. So once we now say, okay, we want to bring back this iconic team, because they will bring back that iconic team, because it is one of the most iconic teams that we've ever seen in football. Like, their dominance was unlike any other, and they played football to an extremely high level. Then bring that team back. So, and once that happens, the media will be involved, sponsors will be involved. Sponsors and the media will not allow a convicted rapist to be part of that. That's just how the world works. That's just how the world works. So you guys can say, wait, hang on, wait, hold up. So you're saying one of the greatest right backs of all time, one of the greatest right backs of all time, cannot have a reunion with his fellow teammates? We can't see Messi and Dani Alves, just for old time's sake, recreate that telepathic understanding as 50-year-olds or guys in their late 40s? Yeah. Because as a full member of Prison FC, you are not the best friend of sponsors. You're not. You're not. And now, whenever we now, and this taints his legacy. 100%. It taints his legacy fully. Because now because remember, before this, was it Dani Alves, Calvo Dani Alves? But then look at what Dani Alves did in the club game. Like, we talked about Dani Alves fully about football in terms of like his impact on the game, the amount of trophies he won, how extraordinary of a footballer he was. So everything was about Dani Alves, the footballer. His brilliance off the ball, his brilliance with the ball, the goals he scored, the assists he had, his amazing telepathic understanding with Messi, the key role he had in that team, was all football. But fast forward now, to February 2024, we talk about Dani Alves, the footballer, but we must also look at Dani Alves, the convicted rapist. I'm sorry. It is what it is. And when you read that statement of accounts, because people can say, okay, we were not there, blah, blah. From what I've read, and the way it went down, and him initially denying that he knew the accuser, because here's the thing. An innocent person, you come up, I know her, I knew her, nothing happened. If I'm innocent, yes, I know her, of course I know who she is, nothing happened. Now, people can say, well, he felt nervous and everything. No. A guilty person, deny, how can I deny, lie, how can I get around this? So when you really look at the case and you look at just the accounts of both parties, it doesn't look good. Now, I know where you guys are going with this. And I call this the Mel Gibson complex. Can you separate the artist from the man? Rather. Can you separate the art from the artist? Can you separate the talent from the footballer? So, let's just focus on him, the footballer, Dani Alves. Let's just focus on Roman Polanski, the director. Let's just focus on Mel Gibson, the director. It's possible too. Mel Gibson is a racist. Roman Polanski is a rapist. Dani Alves is a rapist. It's part and parcel. So for those Barca fans, for those guys who grew up with this team, it's unfortunate. Because now, when we now have discussions, and we always have these like discussions of great teams, great players, all-time players in these positions, but every time we bring up Dani Alves, we've got to be like, oh, Dani Alves, the great footballer, and ... Adam Johnson was a very good footballer. Adam Johnson was a really good footballer. Sigurdsson was all right. Robinho was said to be the next Pele. Robinho was so talented that they were calling him the next Pele. I mean, it's a wild one, man. And again, I think the bottom line here is that, this is the reality. Not every person who is acquitted is fully innocent. Not every person who is convicted is actually guilty. Go watch the film Hurricane with Denzel Washington. So, or Shawshank Redemption, Andy Dufresne. So, we're not there. But as human beings, we all have a brain. And in our brain, we can use our intelligence. From what I read, it doesn't look good. From what I read, I would say that it's most likely that, he is guilty. So anybody saying, oh no, but half of you were not there, women lie, how do you know? From what I read, because we just read what I read, I'm using my brain and my understanding of human beings and how human beings act and how guilty people act and how innocent people act. From looking at that, I'm like, it doesn't look good. It does not look good. It does not look good. And I think if you're a fair person that has any morals whatsoever, and you're honest with yourself, But and that's the thing, because now, for all time now, this is Dani Alves' legacy. His legacy is an iconic right back, one of the best right backs of all time, but also a convicted rapist. It's real. It's real. It's real. And there is simply no changing that. There is simply no changing that, And I think for Dani Alves, he will know to himself that, bro, that is, if I could just go back in time and change that night. If I could just go back in time and change that night. And also, as well, there's the payments as well. So if you're innocent, why am I paying you any sort of money? If I believe in my innocence, we will fight this in court. No, I am fully innocent. I did nothing. You're paying, you're changing your story, Then you're saying, oh yeah, it was consensual. And then now, you now add that you now came back drunk. So obviously you were feeling very... Again, guys, you have to use your brain here and just use your intelligence and just be honest with yourself, man. But again, guys, tell me what you think. Because I feel, though, 100% this taints his legacy as a player. 100% it does. It does. Because that's just the reality of the world. That is the reality. The reality is this conviction taints his legacy as being one of the greatest right backs of all time. Because as much as we are football fans and as much as we love and adore football, what matters more than anything in football is life, is reality, is the real world, is real lives. You scarred someone's life. You scarred them. And no matter how much of a Barca fan you are, a football fan you are, or how much of a fan of Dani Alves you are, I'm going to be real with you. Because, I mean, when you look at someone's legacy, and this is the ultimate question. This is the ultimate question. And I think this is something you've got to ask yourselves. Can you divorce what a footballer does in their life from their talents? Can you just say, oh, forget whatever they did, let me look at their talents? Cannibal Suarez, he's one of the most gifted strikers of all time, and you can make an argument he is the best striker of his generation. You can make that argument. He's an absolute amazing football player, but he eats people and he's a racist. And we are still waiting for that cannibal to apologize to Patrice Evra without trying to bite his neck off. So cannibal, what is he? Can you apologize to Patrice Evra for being racist without trying to eat him? But you can't divorce it, because you could tell the whole story. Amazing footballer, he eats people and he's a racist. That's Cannibal Suarez. Dani Alves, one of the greatest right backs of all time, an important member of one of the best teams of all time, that is a convicted rapist. That is his legacy. Do with that what you will.